Firstpost reports from the world's second largest continent.
Hello, I'm Alison Lagrange. A very warm welcome from Durban, South Africa.
We get you the news and the newsmakers from Africa. From elections to climate change to innovations and opportunities. As the world's attention shifts, we report from Africa, the heart of the global south.
Join me every weekday live on Firstpost. Hello and welcome to Firstpost Africa, where we get you the top stories from the continent and from across the world. I'm Alison Lagrange, coming to you live from Durban, South Africa. First, let's take a look at the headlines. Israel delays cabinet vote on highly anticipated ceasefire and hostage release deal that it reached with Hamas the day before. Tel Aviv accuses Hamas of backtracking on parts of the agreement, creating a last-minute crisis. Ukrainian military says its forces captured 27 Russian troops in the western Russian region of Kursk, where it has been battling Moscow's army since August last year. The Democratic Republic of Congo sentences 3 Chinese citizens to 7 years in prison for the illegal exploitation of minerals in the eastern part of the country. The Indian Space Research Organization creates history by successfully docking 2 satellites in space. With this, India becomes only the 4th nation to conduct the successful experiment after the US, Russia, and China. And Brazil gives Meta 72 hours to explain its recent policy changes that end the fact-checking program on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads. Brazilian President Lula da Silva says Meta's new policies could harm social media users in his country. Hello and welcome. Our top focus is on Mozambique, where a new president has taken oath amid deadly protests. At least 7 anti-government demonstrators were reportedly killed in Mozambique when ruling Frelimo party's Daniel Chapo was sworn in as the new president on Wednesday. As per local NGOs, the protesters were killed in the capital Maputo and the Nampula region. This brings the total death toll in Mozambique's post-poll violence to 307. Though the police, which have been accused of a brutal crackdown on those protesting the disputed election results, have refused to comment on the latest deaths. The Wednesday ceremony took place in Maputo amid heightened security. Roads were blocked and many streets were deserted. Military planes and helicopters circled the capital and its suburbs. The event was expected to be a gathering of over 2,500 people, with many foreign and regional leaders in attendance. However, most of them snubbed the ceremony due to security concerns. Only 2 heads of state, South Africa's Cyril Ramaphosa and Guinea-Bissau's Umaro Sissoco Embalo, had attended the event. Some 15 countries sent their diplomatic representatives. Even Zimbabwe's president and the chair of the regional bloc, SADC, who is considered to be a close Frelimo ally, was not present. In front of the elite gathering, Chapo then delivered a well-crafted speech. He called for national unity amid months of violent protests against his win. Now, the controversial session was boycotted by 2 opposition parties that do not recognize the results of the elections, while the opposition presidential candidate, Venancio Mondlane, who calls himself the true winner, threatened to paralyze the country by protesting every single day if necessary. He has also launched a nationwide strike, and Mondlane is the main organizer of the post-poll protests. And many young Mozambicans are marching on his calls. Despite the new president taking oath, Mondlane's supporters remain defiant and have vowed to continue their fight. Now, Daniel Chapo's win extends his Frelimo party's almost 49-year-long rule. It's the same party that led the country's independence struggle against colonizer Portugal and also survived one of the world's most brutal civil wars afterward. But now young Mozambicans are fighting against Frelimo. They are frustrated under the rule, which has moved away from democracy and resulted in economic stagnation. They have been charmed by the firebrand opposition leader Venancio Mondlane, who has garnered a massive youth following with his social media presence. Meanwhile, attracting youth is something the new president, Daniel Chapo, would also want to tap into. At the age of 48, he is the youngest president of the country. He will be the first president born after Mozambique's 1975 independence. He also earlier worked as a radio presenter and comes as a newbie into national politics. It is believed that Frelimo chose him as a fresh face, meant to capture the support of the disenchanted youth. But for a person with no experience in managing national crisis, several big challenges await him. The months of post-poll violence have crippled the southern African nation, with livelihoods and the economy suffering the most. Mozambique is also facing an Islamist insurgency in the north, which has killed hundreds and displaced thousands. Will the new president be able to navigate through all of these challenges, or will Mondlane's support grow even larger than ever? To discuss this further, we have with us Arizinda Maviga, who is a political scientist and a human rights defender. He is joining us live from Maputo in Mozambique. Thank you for being with us.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here to discuss a bit about my country that I love it so much. Right. And also to discuss about the situation that Mozambicans are living in the last 2 months, 2 and 3 months.
Right, Arizinda, let me jump right into the questions. What are the underlying factors that led to the post-election unrest in Mozambique? And how significant is the opposition's rejection of Daniel Chapo's presidency in fueling this violence?
Thank you so much once again. I would like to say and take us back to the whole process that started on 2023. If you were attentive, there are a lot of organizations, civil society organizations that were observed the whole process of registration Mozambique, electoral registration Mozambique since last year, 2023, when we had the national election registration for first in October 2023 to have the municipality elections, and then last year in October to have the general and presidential elections. Also for that municipality election, there were a lot of complaints about the whole process being fraudulent, and then a lot of inconsistency and irregularity that were that lead the whole process. We start witness protests in Mozambique regarding the election in 2023. When in different cities, where municipality cities, we saw different groups also complaining about the result that the Constitutional Council was approving in 2023. But therefore, as always, the ruling part and the government institution that the Mozambican have no trust nowadays had confirmed the major victor to Frelimo in more than 50 municipalities. And we noticed the same process in 2024 this was one of, according to the observer on the field, there were a lot of frauds, a lot of elements that were unconstitutional that lead the process, the whole electoral process. So this is where the contest actual and the demonstration started. In 2023, we saw the government controlling people contest. We saw the government controlling different parts because they were aware on the places that the demonstrators were starting demonstration. Cities such as Maputo, Nampula, Beira. But this general election is different because even in the districts, in the rural areas, we witness people demonstrating, we witness people blocking roads just to show the insatisfaction against the whole process and also the government.
Yes. Rosenda, how might the ongoing crisis that we are seeing in Mozambique affect regional stability, particularly in the neighboring countries like South Africa and Eswatini, which rely on Mozambique for trade and transit routes?
This has been 2 months hard, even for Mozambicans, as well as we can see from different countries that are neighbors, such as Zimbabwe, Zambia, also that depend on the Beira ports. And then since the demonstration started, we have a lot of instability and roads blocked that were actually making difficult, let me put like that, making difficult this whole trade process between these different countries. And then we notice this historic closure of the border, the main border in Mozambique that's shared with South Africa. Something unexpected, but it was more than a week that the border was closed, which was something bad for the trade, the whole trade process. We see now South Africa more worried about the consequence of this closure. But meanwhile, we are used to see a South Africa that shows that they don't depend to Mozambique. And then I think the border closure force the government of South Africa to come and start to see what will be their role in order to help this whole process of peace in Mozambique. We have the border that we share with Eswatini. It wasn't that affected as the Resano Garcia border. But we see that the movement also reduced a lot, and then we see also lacking of a lot of basic needs products that we have in Mozambique as well as in Swatini.
Thank you very much for being with us on First Post Africa and for your latest update and all the valued insights there.
Thank you so much.
Turning our attention to East Africa, it looks like another African country has joined the campaign to dump China for West Asian investors. Kenya has started discussions with United Arab Emirates to secure financing to complete a regional railway project that was left incomplete after China cut infrastructure funding. Kenya's President William Ruto has said that the country is exploring a partnership agreement with the UAE to extend the Standard Gauge Railway, or the SGR, to connect Kenya with Uganda and South Sudan. Now, he further said that as a part of the plan, the two countries had agreed to conduct a feasibility study on the extension of the railway as it could foster regional integration and promote trade. Now, the railway project in question was supposed to connect the Kenyan port of Mombasa with its landlocked neighbors. It was part of China's Belt and Road Initiative. However, it ended in the Rift Valley in 2019, some 468 kilometers short of the border with Uganda. This was after China cut funding due to debt repayment concerns. Ever since Ruto came to power in 2022, he has been looking to extend the SGR project to Kenya's neighboring countries to boost East African integration. He has also been looking to diversify Kenya's sources of financing after deadly protests forced the government to abandon a slate of tax hikes last year and have delayed disbursements from the International Monetary Fund. And for this reason, Ruto has sought closer ties with the UAE. This week, the East African nation has also signed a comprehensive economic partnership agreement with the UAE that aims to boost trade volumes by removing barriers, simplifying customs processes, and promoting investments. Additionally, Kenya is finalizing a $1.5 billion commercial loan from the UAE for budgetary support. The UAE is the sixth biggest export market for Kenyan goods, as well as its second biggest source of imports. The value of the trade stood at over $3 billion in 2023, with the UAE buying agricultural products, while Kenya bought petroleum, machinery, and chemical products. The UAE's Abu Dhabi National Oil Company and the Emirates National Oil Company were among three Gulf firms that Ruto's government had picked in 2023 to supply Kenya with oil. And all of this has come at a time when China faces significant challenges with its Belt and Road Initiative projects in Africa. Now, after its funding peaked in 2016, Chinese-backed projects have faced several issues such as corruption, labor violations, environmental hazards, and public protests. This has pushed China to cut its funding in Africa. From 2016 to 2023, Chinese loans to Africa fell reportedly from almost $30 billion to less than $5 billion. Reports also suggest that between 2021 and 2022, the Belt and Road Initiative's financing to African countries dropped by nearly 55%. And this has left nations in Africa concerned, as well as scrambling to find new partners to fund their economic development. Hence, as Africa looks to diversify its sources of financing and to reduce its over-reliance on China, is this a new hurdle for China's ambitions in the continent? And staying in the region, the East African country of Rwanda might just be the next oil-producing nation in Africa. Yes, you heard it right. Rwanda has indicated a potential oil discovery in the country. During a parliamentary hearing, the CEO of the Rwanda Mines, Petroleum and Gas Board, or the RMB, stated that there are 13 oil wells that have been found in the Lake Kivu region. Lake Kivu is located on the western region of Rwanda and borders the Democratic Republic of Congo. The lake has a history of volcanic eruptions and is known to contain large amounts of dissolved gases such as methane and carbon dioxide. However, the government has now backtracked from this claim and said it was still in an exploratory phase. A statement put out by the RMB after the parliamentary hearing indicated that it was too early to be so definite. It further added that it was pitching for relevant potential actors to participate in further stages of exploration and production of oil. Now, Rwanda has been exploring for oil and gas in Lake Kivu region since the 1970s. The East African country already extracts methane gas from Lake Kivu, and methane's presence was an indicator that there are potential oil deposits in the lake too. Currently, there are a number of oil-producing countries in Africa. These include Nigeria, Algeria, Libya, Egypt, Chad, Ghana, the DRC, Cameroon, South Africa, Sudan, Niger, and others. In recent years, Rwanda has also been extensively carrying out tests and exploratory operations to find out whether Lake Kivu has oil or not. This is primarily because of its growing energy needs that have also led to a crisis. The country currently imports most of its petroleum products from the UAE, Saudi Arabia and India. But Kigali has been looking to boost its local production so that it can cut reliance on foreign imports. Rwanda has also held talks with the DRC for possible joint oil exploration, despite the ongoing conflict in the eastern part of the Central African country. But exploration has been an expensive affair for Rwanda. Reports suggest that deeper exploration processes, which involve drilling to collect samples, can exceed $15 million. Previous exploration phases have cost the government 1.7 billion Rwandan francs, or over $1 million US. And expectations are that future stages might require between 5 to 7 million US dollars. But despite this, if Rwanda confirms it has found oil, this will likely draw in interest from other countries such as the US, Russia and China, who might want to explore oil in the East African country amid their own growing energy needs. And our final story today is from Nigeria. Lagos, the city that never sleeps, has officially claimed its crown as Africa's ultimate party capital. Every year, as the world shivers through winter, Lagos turns up the heat with Dirty December, a month-long high-energy celebration that blends electrifying Afro beats, stunning street festivals, and fashion so fierce it could stop traffic. It's a time when locals and tourists alike ditch their winter coats for sunshine, samba, and an endless supply of good vibes. With our next report, we take you to Lagos, where the party never ends and neither does the fun.
The Nigerian megacity Lagos, already known for its pulse-pounding energy, transforms into Africa's ultimate party capital every December. Forget about winter blues, Lagos is serving up endless sunshine, sizzling music, and enough vibes to fuel your FOMO well into January. Welcome to Dirty December, the time when Lagos doesn't sleep and neither does anyone else. From December to early January, Lagos sees an influx of diaspora returnees and globetrotters who come for the vibes but stay for the experience.
This is a very important occasion for us. We come out every year to celebrate this heritage of ours. When you come to Lagos Island and ask of Kosoko, that will lead you to our heritage.
Dirty December isn't just a party, it's a full-on cultural movement. Nigeria's entertainment scene hits its peak during this time with superstars like Burna Boy, Wizkid and Thames. Add to that a cocktail of festivals like the Calabar Carnival, also known as Africa's largest street party, and Flytime Fest, an annual multi-day festival. But the party doesn't stop there. Local brand Culture FM, with its finger firmly on the pulse of Africa's music scene, puts on a show like no other. Collaborating with major players like Airpeace, Pepsi Nigeria and Hennessy, the brand stages events that feel like a celebration of African pride. But what really makes it stand out? A block party in Surulere, the birthplace of Afrobeats legends, featuring DJ booths on yellow minibuses and a performance by none other than Oxlade. Dirty December fuels a worldwide social media frenzy, with everyone and their mothers posting photos and videos of their Lagos adventures. From glamorous weddings to beach parties, family reunions and house parties, there's never a dull moment in Lagos from December to January. And if you're wondering about crowd, you'll be happy to know that favorable currency exchanges makes the event popular among tourists, with more and more travelers from places like the United Kingdom, the United States and Canada arriving for the month-long party. From within the continent, hundreds of Gen Z and party chasers from Ghana and South Africa are in attendance. That's right. Local businesses, from restaurants to vendors to hotels, thrive during this time, giving the Nigerian economy a much-needed boost while making you feel like a VIP. What makes Dirty December truly special? It's more than the non-stop partying and music, it's the perfect showcase of Nigerian culture, from the food to the fashion to the music that's taking the world by storm. Afrobeats is at the forefront of the global music scene, and Lagos is the beating heart of that movement. You've got Nollywood-inspired Y2K fashion making a comeback, delicious traditional dishes fueling late-night adventures, and every corner of Lagos feeling like a celebration of Nigeria's cultural richness.
The key aspect of the celebration is that everyone comes home. We deliberate, and there is progress in the community. We have amongst our kinsmen those who teach in the university, and we inform them about our young ones who intend to go to the university for higher learning, and we receive support from them.
Dirty December is not just a holiday, it's a celebration of African excellence. And Lagos is where it all comes together.
And that's it on the show for today. We will see you again tomorrow at the same time. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.